Let me tell you this, to get a band score of 7, 8 or even 9 in the IELTS writing, you don't have to learn fancy complex words such as this and this that are rarely used in natural speech. What you really need to learn is topic-specific vocabulary. And in this video, I'm going to explain what I mean by topic-specific vocabulary and, more importantly, how to search for this by using Google. Hi there, this is Rustam from Ace IELTS. I'm an expert IELTS trainer and English instructor with over 15 years of teaching experience. I've created this channel to support you on your IELTS prep journey and help you ace the test so that you can get the score you need to follow your dreams. Many of my students often ask me how to improve their vocabulary to achieve a band score of 7 or above in academic IELTS writing. And while the answer is true, yes, you need to use a wide range of vocabulary to improve your score, this does not mean that this vocabulary has to be complicated, right? Let's turn to one example. Imagine that you're writing an essay on this topic. Online education is becoming more popular. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of studying online. Now, what many students would do is they would start immediately using complex vocabulary, hoping that they would impress the examiner and achieve a higher score. So, they might begin their essay by saying, "The antagonists of online education may posit that it's ineffective compared to face-to-face education. However, we need to closely scrutinize the arguments prior to giving any opinion." Looks fancy, doesn't it? But this is not going to work. This is not what you need. You need to show the examiner that you can write in a natural way. In a natural way means in a meaningful, simple way, in a way that any native speaker will understand. The vocabulary we've just seen in this example is not what a native speaker would normally use to discuss this topic. So what you really need is topic-specific vocabulary. You need to use a range of words and phrases that are directly related to the topic of your essay. So one way to find topic-specific vocabulary is by reading authentic articles. Authentic articles are usually written for and are usually by native speakers. So, reading these kinds of texts is a great way to understand what vocabulary you need to be learning. Now, let me show you some examples of the vocabulary that you can use to discuss the topic we've seen before. Alright, so I found this article which compares online learning with face-to-face learning. And I've highlighted a bunch of topic-specific vocabulary that you could potentially use when writing an essay on this topic. So you can see them here, and the first phrase that we could use that is relevant for us is distance learning. So you can use distance learning as a synonym for online learning. The next phrase is technological advances, so maybe to paraphrase internet. Learning remotely, flexibility, learning at your own pace, following your own timetable, self-disciplined, teacher-student relationship, great phrase. What else? Here we have lectures, seminars, and tutorials. These are 100% topic-specific vocabulary. They're related to education, so you would probably need to use them when writing an essay on the topic of education, right? Learning needs is another phrase. Peers, communication, interaction with peers, a virtual and real interaction. As you guys can see, I have highlighted dozens of different words and word combinations that you could use. These are all very relevant and connected to the topic of our essay. So this is what I call topic-specific vocabulary. As you've seen from this article alone, I could find highly relevant and useful vocabulary. This is the vocabulary that a native speaker, would use to discuss a topic like this. Did you also notice that none of these words is super difficult or complicated? All of them are simple. Yes, natural means simple, not complicated. By the way, this reminds me of a quote that would be relevant here. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Well said, isn't it? So let's come back to our essay topic again. But this time, I'll show you a better example of how you could start this essay, and by using the vocabulary that we've just seen in the article. Alright, I've written these two examples on this topic. Please note that these are only examples. They are not connected or anything. I wrote them to illustrate how you could use the vocabulary that we've just seen in a sentence, right? So, here's my first example. Distance learning does not provide real interaction between teachers and learners, making it difficult to build teacher-student relationship. And here's my second example. A virtual course provides learners greater flexibility and allows them to follow their own timetable. However, to achieve their learning goals, students need to be self-disciplined and motivated. As you can see, these two examples sound much more natural than the first example. They're easy to read and they don't contain any fancy or complicated language. Do you think I can still get a 9 with these two examples? So, write what you think in the comment section. I'd be very interested to see what you think. Alright, in my final part of the video, I would like to quickly show you how to search for topic-specific vocabulary by using Google. So let's begin with the Google search bar. So basically what you need to do here is type in the keyword or the keywords. So in our case today, we're looking at online education versus face-to-face. So I've already done this search before. So let's go with this one, online education versus face-to-face. And we'll just click any link here. Okay, so online learning versus face-to-face, which is best? So let me show you on an example of this article how or what vocabulary you can use when writing about this topic, right? So, okay, right off the bat, I see this phrase self-paced learning, which is a great phrase that you can use when writing about this topic. Another one could be effective and efficient, traditional, as a synonym to face-to-face learning. So you may want to use traditional rather than repeating face-to-face. Okay, asynchronous learning, great phrase, synchronous, asynchronous. It encourages self-study. It promotes or encourages self-study. Another good phrase that you could use, monitor your progression. So you can basically keep track of your progress, right? Guys, I hope you got the point. I'm not gonna, go through the entire article, but I've just, done a couple paragraphs here, and you can see that I have already found, 5 different expressions or phrases that you could use that are relevant to the topic of online education versus face-to-face. Try to read an article a day and then learn some new phrases from it, right? One piece of advice would be, though, you need to start applying the words and phrases that you learn. Simply knowing the translation of the words is not enough, right? So start applying them in your writing and speaking. So when the exam day comes, you will hopefully have no difficulty reproducing them. And hopefully you'll be able to impress the examiner by using this topic-specific, relevant vocabulary, and hopefully will sound natural in your writing. This brings me to the end of my video. If you like this video, give it the thumbs up, cheers, and subscribe to my channel for more valuable content. Thank you. I'll see you in my next videos.